Hey everyone, it's me, Allaberry. So, if you've been paying attention to my community posts, you probably have a pretty good idea on what we're doing here today. I've been watching a lot of Aoops recently, and she's really inspired me to make a fantasy character based off of dice rolls. If you don't follow her already, I highly recommend it. Her videos are awesome. I recently have been pretty fixated on a world me and my girlfriend have been working on called a Thrindane. If you're familiar with my work prior to this video, you're probably aware of the existence of this project. I mean, I made an entire video based around making characters for it in the past, so I thought it would be super fun to make an almost completely randomized character for it. Let's just get right into it. This video is long, so enjoy! Alright, so we're just gonna do the basics first. I just wanna I wanna know their age, I wanna know, their race, and, just some stuff like that, their age, their race, and maybe their profession, because we're just gonna be throwing this into our world. There's not any lore, I'm not rolling for a character specific, it's just gonna be going somewhere in the world I talked about. So first, let's just do race just to get it over with. Just get an idea first. So it's gonna be a D10. If I can find mine. Okay. I've only got this. 6. So they're a tiefling. Yay! Okay. Tiefling. Next, we're gonna do, their age. On my table, I'm just gonna cut off... I'm gonna re-roll 1s, because that's 10 and under, and I do want them to be, an adult, at least. So, let's use my radioactive dice. I've never really shown these off that much. They're glow-in-the-dark. Look at that. Look how cool. Okay. Let's see. That's a 6. I believe. Hold on. Yeah, that's a 6. So that means they're 51 or older. Which is a bit old, but, in my lore, tieflings are a little bit weird, so we're gonna figure it out. We're going to figure it out. Alright, so profession. Profession. This is a D100. I wish I had a big, silly D100 for this, but I don't. So, let's see. I'm hoping for something maybe a little bit royal. That's kind of what I'm in the mood to design, but we'll see. That's 6. 66. Okay. 66. Let's see. An undertaker. Wait a minute. Oh, wait. That's cool. Okay, undertaker. Okay, so a 51 or older tiefling undertaker. I could eat with this. I could eat. Alright, what else should, okay, let's get into a little bit more of the, the nitty-gritty. I kind of want to, let's, roll for their motivation. Just kind of see what they are up to. What they want to be doing, maybe. Just well, so they're an undertaker. Let's see if anything, anything happens that maybe needs them to go off on an adventure, because I want this to be an adventure, I think. We'll see. We'll see what happens. It's a 14. Let's see. Recover. So their motivation is recovery? I'm not sure what that could mean. However, we can make it work. Maybe maybe they're an undertaker because of something, or they've had to leave their undertaker job because of something. Maybe? Maybe they're recovering from a death, or something like that, maybe. Okay, let's roll for some traits. We're gonna roll for like 2 to 4 traits. We'll just see. We'll see. 20. Let's do, so let's do this D20 right here. I haven't really been able to use these dice because I got them when I stopped playing Dungeons and Dragons. So, they deserve a little bit. So we're gonna roll this like 4 times and just see what we get. That is a 6. We're rolling a lot of 6s. Cruel. Okay. Cruel. We'll see how we can use that. I'm kind of getting an idea in my mind, like kind of an old, mean-looking, cruel tiefling, right? Who's an undertaker. Maybe a necromancer, perhaps? Perchance? Studier of the dark arts? Maybe? Okay, let's roll again. Watch us get, like, cruel and then get, like, loving. That's a 17. Frugal. Okay. Ebenezer Scrooge? Maybe? Maybe we got Ebenezer Scrooge up in here? Okay. Okay. This is a 4. Cunning. Okay. This is definitely gonna be a character. Okay, one last roll for personality traits. That's 13, which is charming. Alright, so we rolled charming? So this is a 51-year-old tiefling who is an undertaker and for some reason is recovering from something, who is cruel, frugal, cunning, and charming. So maybe we've got a... I don't know, charming? I guess you can be charming and cruel at the same time. Like, you can put on the face that you're really charming and a great time, but be a little bit odd. Perhaps. Alright, you know what? How about we roll for, you know, what... like, how they present. Are we gonna be femme or masculine? Let's do a d20. Anything under 10 is gonna be... anything under 11 is gonna be femme, and anything over 10 is gonna be masculine. Let's try that. 14? So we've got... they're gonna be a man. Okay. Well, they don't have to be a man. I guess I could... we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. I'm excited. Alright, let's see. Let's do some, like, design roles. Because we've got a basic... we've got the bare bones of the personality and the lore of the character. Let's do some roles for, like, how he's gonna look. Let's do hair length first. Let's see what their hair length is. 6, so pulled back? Okay, hair length / style, I didn't read that. So it's pulled back, so it's long enough to be pulled back into a ponytail or something like that, so nice, nice, nice. I want to see if it's going to be a normal tiefling color or an unnatural tiefling color. I kind of just want to do what I want, but I feel like I should ask the dice. It might just make it funner. So, like, unusual tiefling color would be, like, I guess pink. I don't know. Do what you want with your tieflings. I don't mind. So just like before, we're gonna do under 11 is gonna be unusual. Above 10 is gonna be typical tiefling. Okay, so unusual! Yay! So, this character's gonna be a mess. That's what I'm getting from this, is that this character is a mess. They're a mess. Let's see. Let's see if, our character has any, features like heterochromia or tattoos or anything like that. Maybe D12. Okay. So, let's see. That's a 4. They have a birthmark. Okay, let's ask if that birthmark's on their face. Below 10, below 11 is yes, above 10 is no. So no, they have a birthmark somewhere on their body. Is it a big, large, visible? Is it like a visible birthmark? Did I say that was a butt? I think that's a no, right? They have a birthmark that's, you know, kind of tucked away, so no one can see it. Okay, let's roll for another trait, like visual. That's a 1. Multiple piercings, okay. Are they facial or body piercings? Okay, let's ask, are the piercings on their face? Okay, so no. No piercings. So they're like body piercings. Okay, does our character show a lot of skin? Are they like, does our character show a lot of skin, or are they more modest and closed back? Yes, they show a lot of skin. Okay, I can work with this. So far, we've got a very interesting character to build up. So we've got a tiefling, a masculine tiefling who is 51 years or older, who is an undertaker and is recovering from something. He is cruel, frugal, cunning, and charming. He has pulled back hair, he is an unusual color, he has a birthmark somewhere on his body, he has multiple body piercings, and he shows a lot of skin. Okay. We can do this. Okay, I'll let that be the visual segment. Let's do a little bit of like some story stuff, because we got this recovery thing. Like, okay, here's an idea. How about we re-roll the motivation and see what he's recovering from. So, like, is he recovering from, like... Well, let's just see. Let's see. 8. Recovering from destroy. So if something has been destroyed, maybe a relationship, or a home, or a career, he's recovering from something in his life being destroyed. Okay. Did the thing that was destroyed, was it related to a person by any chance? Yes. So whatever he's recovering from is related to someone. Were they romantically inclined? Yes! Okay. So, something was destroyed, and related to it is going to be a lover. So maybe the lover destroyed something of his, or, it was the relationship itself that was destroyed? Perchance? I'm not sure. Is the lover alive? No. Okay, so the lover who caused or was related to this thing that he is recovering from is deceased. That can work. That can work because he's an undertaker. He's an undertaker, so of course it's related to death. That makes sense. That makes sense. Alright, so we've got... So he's old, he's mean, he's charming, he's recovering from some sort of trauma relating to a lover who is now dead. So I have to think on that. You know what? This can work. This can work. Let's add a few more let's ask a few more questions just to, you know, get everything down to a science. Let's do like, does he have any bad habits? No? Damn. I wanted him to. I have an entire table here full of bad habits. Okay, so he doesn't have anything like that. Okay. Alright. Let's do like, does he wear a lot of jewelry? Oh, yes. Like, he wears a lot of jewelry. That is a 20. So it kind of makes me, like, let's see. So he definitely shows himself off a lot, considering he has a lot of body piercings. He shows a lot of skin. But he's also frugal. So maybe he doesn't spend much money when it doesn't relate to things that make him look pretty. I think that can make sense, yeah. Yeah, maybe he's like a slave to beauty. But he doesn't spend much money outside of that. Like, he doesn't spend much money on people he cares about. Perhaps he didn't take too good of care of the lover we've been talking about. Okay. We're getting somewhere. Let's see. I know this is a different character, but like, let's see what his lover was like. It's a 10, right? Wait, no, that's a 16. It's a 16. I'm blind. Aggressive. Okay. So the lover was aggressive. The lover was careless. The lover was mature. And the lover was assertive. So maybe it sounds like this past relationship wasn't very good for either of them. If he is cruel, frugal, cunning, and charming, and the lover is aggressive, careless, mature, and assertive. So maybe the relationship itself was just not great. Well, we know the lover's dead. Did they break off their relationship before the lover died? No. So, they were in a relationship till the lover passed away. We'll think on that a little bit more, see what we can figure out. But for now, I think we've got something pretty good. So, well, let's see what we can do. Let's see what we can do with the character. To make sure I didn't miss a beat when it came to designing him, I decided to make a big mood board with everything I was interested in incorporating into the final design. I usually do this in two ways. One is pure ref, which is good for a quick way to save references while you're doing maybe a commission or a big illustration, and you just need to quickly paste something onto it. The other way I usually do it is through Milanote, which in my opinion is better for designs, considering it allows you to quickly paste photos, make color palettes, make notes, all sorts of fun stuff. So, I ended up making a big board with everything I wanted on it, including some color swatches, some motif inspiration, and some clothing ideas that I liked. And after I had gotten everything I needed pinned down, I could finally get into the design. It was finally time to fill in everything that I'm not really able to roll for. I tried to have a general idea for his character before I designed him just to make sure that everything went together well. First, I took everything I knew about his traits and personality. We rolled some interesting traits. Cruel, frugal, cunning, charming. So I interpreted this as him being very handsome, but also looking a little bit slimy. Like, not literally, but you can tell he's not all too good of a person just by looking at him. He was also an undertaker, and is recovering from something. So I gathered everything up and dwelled on it for about a day until I decided that he's probably a villain in my world. Not like a main one, but definitely if the protagonist of our story interacted with him, he'd be quite a bother. I had rolled for a lot of physical details too, so I knew he would have a birthmark, multiple piercings, wears jewelry, shows a lot of skin, stuff like that. I got from this that he's probably really vain on top of everything else, and while being frugal, he likes to pamper himself, and usually cuts down on the cost of other things to spoil himself rotten. He probably needs a name in the script, so despite the fact that I named him at the very end of my design process, we're just gonna call him by it now just to make it a little bit easier. I landed on the name Eris Beryl, which I don't think falls into tiefling naming conventions, but tieflings work differently in a Thrindane, so it doesn't really matter too much to me. Please don't go lore crazy in the comments, I'm begging you. I decided that Eris is new to undertaking because he is around 60 years old, which to my knowledge is considered adulthood for tieflings. So I just went with the idea that maybe he's a young adult. What matters is that he recently picked up this profession and he's somewhat new to it. I think he isn't horrible up until this point. He definitely has his moments, but a while into his undertaking business, he kind of goes Ebenezer Scrooge, just a little bit. If you remember when I was rolling for his character, I mentioned that he had a deceased lover, so you probably know where I'm going with this. Originally, I was gonna go with that the lover was the cause for the destruction that he is currently recovering from, but now that I think about it more, I think they may be the destruction itself. When I was originally thinking of them, both of their traits are really not great. So I'm wondering if maybe during their relationship it was rocky from the start. But of course, they stayed together for a while, meaning it probably had its moments that made all the hard parts worth it in the end. We know that Eris's lover is deceased, so it's very likely they could have passed suddenly due to an illness or something like that. But the loss of his partner shakes Eris to the core, and his shady business practices get shadier as he begins to become obsessive with the loss of them itself. Now, in the lore of my world, dark arts such as necromancy is strictly illegal. It's bad news. The people who practice it are bad news, and it's widely seen as a crime against nature. But Eris, wrapped up in his grief and being an undertaker, is responsible for readying his partner for burial. He starts getting these ideas in his head that maybe this doesn't have to be the end. Maybe, at least for a little while, he can bring his partner back and they can tell each other everything that they didn't get to say. That's where Veronica comes in. If you read my comic or have been a fan of me for a long time, you know who this woman is. Veronica is one of the protagonists in my comic Where Rattlesnakes Sing, and is a long-time Fallout OC that I have. However, in a Thryndane, Veronica is something much more threatening. I won't get into her story right now, but all you need to know is that she is an incredibly powerful necromancer, and is leading a tirade across a Thryndane. And this power is so sheer and so obvious that it attracts many cult-like followers. One of those followers just turns out to be Eris. He thinks Veronica is the chance he needs to bring his partner back, and because of this, leaves his city and follows her, abandoning his shop and his life just for a chance to bring his lover back to life, which I think is really romantic and dark. Oh, it's good. I love it. Design-wise, I am very happy with how he turned out. I did go against some of my roles, because it's my video and I can do what I want. I have the free will to draw whatever I want to. I ended up giving him some more facial piercings, and while I was designing him, I rolled a few more times to see if he wore a lot of color or not, stuff like that. I turned the birthmark into these like rib markings on his chest, which real ones know what I'm implying with this. Drop a skull in the comments if you get what I'm putting down. I think overall he looks great, and his story is really interesting as a base to build up on, but he was slightly rushed because when am I not in a hurry to get my art pieces out? So he could possibly use another run through the oven just to get perfectly cooked, you know? I hope you guys liked this video. It's a bit different than what I usually do, but I had a lot of fun with it and might even do it again if you guys want me to. And just comment down below if you'd be interested in seeing more like this. If you guys want to support me, I have my Ko-fi and Etsy links down below, where you can access my online shop, my commissions, memberships, donations, etc. If you want to see more from me, I'm super active on Twitter and Instagram, so all of my links are down below as well. Thank you all so much for watching, and bye-bye!